What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video from myself, No Risk, No Rizq. So the date today is the 15th of April 2020. We are currently held up in lockdown, in quarantine due to coronavirus, COVID-19, which is quite a sad and, I suppose, frustrating situation for a lot of people out there. Especially seeing as how Ramadan is coming up soon, and Ramadan is a month for people to get together, to enjoy each other's company and worship Allah. And I think it's very, very sad that we are a generation where we have to experience a Ramadan where we won't be able to go to the masjid. But it's particularly sad for those people who are looking forward to Ramadan to be a month where they could learn and boost their spirituality and boost their knowledge in Islam by going to the mosque, by going to talks, listening to lectures, meeting with people, asking questions.
Brother, that's a very good question.
And that's just not going to happen anymore, well, at least for this year. So I thought, hey, what were some of the key lectures that I've seen in my life that has given me a really good understanding about Islam? So I thought I'd put together a top 5 lists of the lecture series that I would recommend you all watch this Ramadan to help you boost your iman, your knowledge, your understanding, and ultimately it's going to help you enjoy the month even more because you're going to have a deeper connection and meaning with the action of fasting itself. This is something that you can share with your friends, your family, your partners, your kids, your parents, your neighbors, anybody.
Oh, Cookie Monster would share his cookie?
Yep.
And you can sit down, you can watch these, and you can discuss it just the same way as you would discuss Narcos, or you would discuss Snowfall, or you would discuss anything else that's on TV right now.
Welcome, weary traveler, to my castle of chaos.
Send this in your WhatsApp groups to your friends every single day, and make sure that you're watching it every single day and you're asking them and you're being accountable for your friends to making sure that they're keeping up with the series as well. I guarantee if you listen to even 1 or 2 of these lecture series across the whole of Ramadan, your Ramadan is going to go from here to here. And inshallah is just going to make it a much more sweeter occasion and a sweeter month for you because you're going to have that foundational understanding of the religion and a lot of principles to the religion itself. So hope you guys enjoy. This video, by the way, is for everyone, whether you're Muslim, Jew or Christian. I would still recommend these top 5 videos for a really good understanding of the foundations of Islam. Some videos will be quite factual, quite intellectual, and you need to keep up with it, and others are much more spiritual and they're told in a story format. Anyways, watch the videos and I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a comment down below and let everybody else know and let me know which one of these series you've already seen, what you think about them, and if there's any other lecture series that you would recommend that people watch this Ramadan to get a good understanding of the religion, the month, or anything positive like that. Let's get into it. So at number 1, we've got, of course, Mufti Menk. The series that I'm recommending to you guys is
known as Lessons from the Stories of the Prophets.
Now, this lecture series is based on the book Stories of the Prophets by Ibn Kathir.
And it is very important that we know what is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from us.
This was a book that I actually originally bought
70 years later.
many years ago. And I just didn't read it, I didn't pick it up and actually go through it. I did have quite a good understanding of the religion and of the prophets from, I would say from a summary perspective. Like I knew the stories and what happened, but I didn't really know the intricacies and the details and the meaning behind it and what lessons I should really take from it. So consider it almost like an audiobook with commentary. Mufti Menk goes into detail on each and every single one of the prophets that have been mentioned in the Quran, all the way from Adam down to Noah, Ibrahim, Musa alayhi salam, down to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and everybody else in between, Yusuf alayhi salam, Yunus alayhi salam, Lut alayhi salam. So it's an amazing lecture series for you to really understand who these people were, who these men were, and I think that's what's really important about this lecture series is when you watch it, you actually understand that these are just men that, you know, they're just people that lived their lives and at a certain point they got a calling from Allah and they dropped everything to propagate this message and to help humanity and their ummahs to to get closer to Allah. So I think it's really important that we understand who these people are, because they risk their lives, put their dunya on hold for us to be who we are today. So in at number 2 is the Seerah as presented by Yasir Qadi. So the reason I put this at number 2, because of course, having watched lecture series number 1, the stories of the prophets, it's important to understand the story of the last and final messenger of Allah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The story of his life is known as the Seerah. The series is something that you will learn many, many lessons, not only as a person learning about leadership from someone like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his life, but it'll give you a much better understanding to the Quran as well, the revelation of the Quran. The story of revelation is the story of the Seerah, and of course, the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan, so what better time to understand about revelation than in the month that it was revealed itself.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن.
And there's beautiful lessons that you can learn from this, which are practical, that you can utilize in your daily spiritual life. Like, for example, if you're going through hardships, if you're going through struggles, possibly Surah Yusuf is a good surah to recite because of when it was revealed and the reason why it was revealed at that particular time. You'll understand more about Surah Falaq, Surah Nas, these very common surahs that we read for protection, and you'll understand a bit more why we read them, when those verses were revealed, and it gives you a better link with the Quran itself. So highly, highly recommend that you guys watch this series. And in at number 3 is the 99 Names of Allah lecture series by Muhammad Tim Humble.
Indeed, Allah has 99 names, 100 less 1.
Where he breaks down each of the names of Allah and he gives understanding to each of the names, and it will allow you to connect better with Allah.
So how about the knowledge that deals with the most merciful, our Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
So when you're making dua to Allah, you can address him by a particular name, which is a particular attribute in relation to the thing that you are making dua for.
To Allah belong the best names. Use them in your dua. This is the purpose of learning the names of Allah, because every time you know a little bit more about Allah, you get a little bit closer to Allah.
So this channel, for example, is called Rizq. So when I call out to Allah, I call out to the name Ya Razaq, which means the provider. And one of the ways that I like to think about the 99 names of Allah is it's a bit like when you're trying to call up customer support. You're trying to get to speak to the right person.
What is he doing?
What do you do when you call that call center? You'll call up and there'll be 5 or 6 options. If your query is this, dial 1. If your query is this, dial 2. If your query is that, dial 3, and so on and so forth. And by the time you go through these processes, you get to the right person a lot quicker than if you were to go through, for example, the operator, and you go through a lot more levels.
He's beginning to believe.
So in the same way, when you're calling out to Allah by his particular names and these particular attributes, you're calling directly to that attribute for that particular request. So that's why I think it's really important that everybody understands the 99 names of Allah and they learn them, and they learn more specifically when to use these names when they're calling out to Allah. In at number 4 is actually possibly my favorite lecture that I've seen. Now, this isn't actually a lecture series.
What the?
This is just a very long lecture. It's around about 3 hours long, possibly a bit longer, possibly a bit shorter. It's around 3 hours long, and that is the Angel Jibreel series, or the Angel Jibreel lecture by Imam Omar Suleiman.
So one of the reasons why I decided to teach about Jibreel alayhi salam in particular is because one of the ways we gain confidence in the revelation to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is by looking at his character himself. But what about the messenger to the messenger?
Now, I really, really, really love this lecture series, and honestly, I could watch this every single year, and every single time I listen to this, I could probably learn something new, and I would enjoy it just as listening to it the first time I heard it. The reason why I enjoyed listening to this so much is because there's a lot of emphasis on, of course, the prophets, of course, the companions of the prophets, and of course, all praises to Allah.
All praise to the Most High.
But Angel Jibreel, or Angel Gabriel, as others may call him, is such an integral part of the journey of humanity in relation to Allah.
He is Kalimullah min al-malaika.
Allah has used Angel Jibreel as a messenger angel
He is the one that Allah speaks to from the angels.
since, who knows, but we do know that since humans have been on this earth, Angel Jibreel has been a part of the story of revelation, bringing down revelation to the Nabis, to the Rasuls, directly from Allah.
There's not a single prophet of Allah that you study except that there's a mention of Jibreel. Seriously, just go through Qasas al-Anbiya, the stories of the prophets. You'll find a mention of Jibreel alayhi salam in some way, shape, or form. He's got to be there.
So this series talks about Angel Jibreel specifically.
Ra'aytu Jibreel. I saw Jibreel.
Where is he mentioned in the Quran? Where is he mentioned in the Hadiths?
وَلَهُ سِتُّمِئَةِ جَنَاحٍ. And he had 600 wings. The Prophet ﷺ said he filled up the entire horizon and he was sitting on a throne that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for him. And the Prophet ﷺ said not only are those 600 wings spread out, there are constant rubies and pearls falling from his wings. The color of his wings are khadra, are green, and the soles of his feet are green. That's what he looks like in angelic form.
What's true, what's not true, and there's some beautiful, beautiful, amazing stories which gives Angel Jibreel, rightfully so, his own personality.
That Jibreel came to the Prophet ﷺ and he told the Prophet ﷺ, you should have seen me the day that Fir'aun died.
And his own characteristics that we understand and that we love him for, and we get that connection to him. And again, it's important to understand this because when we pray, we're surrounded by the angels all the time. So watching this lecture series, you get to understand the nature of angels in general, but of course that of Angel Jibreel. And of course you want to pack your house with angels this Ramadan, so it's good to know their characteristics, their attributes, and how you can attract more angels to you. In at number 5. Now, I've kind of cheated with this one because it's a long lecture series compared to some of the other ones. This is the lecture series by Yasir Qadi, From the Grave to Judgment Day. And what he does is he goes through the stages of death, then he talks about the grave. So he talks about actually dying and Barzakh. This is the longest lecture series and most detailed lecture series about the issue of Barzakh in the English language. So it's really, really important to watch this because it's a trial and tribulation that every single one of us is guaranteed.
كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة.
Barzakh is guaranteed for every single one of us. So we need to kind of understand what's going to happen and how to prepare for it. So he talks about death, he talks about Barzakh in great detail. Then he talks about the grave and the life in the grave. And he talks about Judgment Day and being resurrected and what Judgment Day will be like in great detail. Now, this lecture series, he has been doing this for best part of about 6 months where he releases 1 episode a week. So there's probably around about 30. And I really do recommend it. It's changed my perspective on life in general deeply, and it's because of the level of detail that he goes into. One thing I love about Yasir Qadi and the other speakers that I've mentioned is that every single thing that they say, they reference the Quran and they reference the Sunnah and they provide a reference for it. So that's why I did this video. I thought it was really important for people to get a good grounding and good understanding to the religion. There's a lot of people that I've met over the last 6 months, I would say in particular, that don't really have direction, don't really have guidance towards the religion, but they are within Muslim families and they don't have that direction, and they know that it's the truth, but they don't know where to look, where to seek information from. There's a whole barrage of information that they can go onto online, and ultimately the person with the best digital skills will get that person listening to their lecture series. And I wanted to make sure that I'm at least doing my part, putting out some good content for you guys to understand who the people are that I feel are some of the best people and the best lecture series to listen to this Ramadan, to boost your knowledge, boost your understanding of the foundations of religion, to maximize your Ramadan and make sure that you have a productive month, and to make sure that you connect with Allah, you connect with the Quran in a way which is much deeper than you would have done had you not watched these lecture series. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I wanted to just leave a little other message just to say to you guys that No Risk No Rizq is a clothing brand. We started off as a clothing brand. These videos, the podcast, everything that we do is added content to to connect with you guys more, to give you guys more value from us as a brand. But we do have a new collection dropping on the 23rd of April. You might have guessed the 23rd of April is also the first day of Ramadan. So the launch coincides with the first day of Ramadan. So I would really appreciate if every single person who's watching this video can go over to the website. The link will be in the description below. It's www.norisknorizq.com. It would mean a lot to me if you could all go over there, leave your email address in the pop-up that comes up, and check your emails from me. There'll be a 15% discount code sent to you for you to use when we drop the new collection, and keep up with the emails. Please share with your friends as well. Every single time you share this with a friend, that's another viewer, that's another subscriber, and another person that can be inspired by these videos. So yeah, just make sure you check out the website, leave your details, and stay up to date with the launch of what's happening. I'm going to be making a lot more videos now till the end of Ramadan. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you come back in a couple of weeks time once you've checked out some of these lecture series, and leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of them, how you felt about it, and what some of your favorite parts are. And also, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, you give this video a thumbs up, you like the video, and share. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace.